you bring a helmet?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Are you gonna? You don't have to wear it. It's completely up to you.
I don't think.
You don't like to wear it? You like living
really.
on the edge.
Well, it's like I do. If you fall, you just put your hands out.
I could not be happier for Meri if I tried, because I've always been a champion for Meri. I love the fact that her friends are trying to change the narrative, because we've always been told that she's the villain, she treated the otherwise badly, she treated Kody badly, she treated the kids badly. So I love the fact that we have Jen's husband speaking up and saying she's an amazing person. I love the fact that we have Ron speaking up and saying she's an amazing person. We have Jen. So I love that her friends, irregardless of what the show is trying to tell us about her and everybody else, they continue to champion the person that they know, the person that they love. And I'm here for it. And good for David for going and supporting his wife. For Kody to say that I asked for David to be here, he did not ask for David to be here. Christine asked for David to be there. As far as I'm concerned, that's the impression that I get, that Christine asked for David to be there because she wanted him to support her during this conversation with Kody. I think Kody expected to come and railroad her the way he did Janelle, and so seeing David there and David speaking up for his wife is something he didn't expect. Janelle, I hope she finds a guy the same way Meri and Christine have done, because it seems these women are finding men that are completely opposite of Kody, which I'm here for. And I love the fact that Janelle's friends are continuing to encourage her to move on from this man and find her own person out there. I believe the OG3 were very, caring women who sadly was sold something that wasn't there by Kody, and so now they're finding the guys that they really deserve. Amazing. I'm here for it. I digress. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button. Turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Sister Wives, Season 20, Episode 12. So the episode starts off with, Kody obviously is back at home. He's trying, I think he was preparing for the show that he was on, the what's that show called? I only watched a couple of episodes in Season 1 and I stopped. And I think this is what he was preparing for, and was trying to make it seem like he's doing all this because of Robyn. He says he's got a younger wife, so he needs to keep fit. Do I buy it? No, I do not. I think he's preparing for the show and he's trying to make out like he's this macho man. You had Christine say Kody was always into working out. Janelle says he was always into working out. Meri says she didn't get to see it because we all know he didn't stay with Meri for the last decade or so. So she wouldn't have seen his workout to try and keep up with his younger wife. Anyway, Robyn comes out. She says, she wants to catch up with him because they have a private moment to find out exactly what happened with Janelle and where they stand with that situation. And so for him to say Janelle was very kind, she was very forgiving, and he really appreciates her for that. I don't think Robyn expected this. I think she expected Janelle to hold Kody's feet to the fire. So the fact that she was welcoming and she was very forgiving and understanding is something that she didn't see coming. Do I think Robyn is on board with this? No, I do not buy it, but I think she's going to do it for the cameras just so she gets a good narrative, because it seems this is all she's after in regards Kody going on this apology tour. We have Meri sort of talking about Jen, because she was arranging the event for Jen's husband and Jen to sort of raise money to help them pay their hospital bills. So they were doing this sponsored bike ride, and then they would have a breakfast out on the lawn at Parawan. So it was really nice that, they're having this conversation about supporting Jen, how everything was going to play out. And then Meri brought up that Ron was coming. I love it. I love it. Because every time she said Ron, her face lit up. The smile. This is the most I've seen Meri smile in 20 seasons. I'm going to say that. This is the most I've seen Meri smile in 20 seasons. In one episode, she's made up for 20 seasons, because she really was excited that he was coming. I don't know whether she expected him to come, but the fact that she asked him to come and he offered to come was something she wasn't expecting. So she was very giddy and excited about that. You had Janelle and her friends meet up. So this was after she had a sit down with Kody when he came on his pilgrimage, for apologies. And she said, he was a different man this time when she saw him, because he was more caring, he was more empathetic, and he was back to the man that she knew, the man that she had married. And so I'm happy that her friends were able to get clarity from her, because they asked her, so do you think you can ever rekindle with Kody? And she said, no, there's no chance of us rekindling. I am ready to move on. He is ready to move on, and it's okay. We had Meri do the bike ride. Ron was there. Meri was giddy. Production kept asking her about Ron because I think they just could see how excited she was every time she spoke about him. We had this little chat between her and him, sort of her appreciating him coming. Their body language was enough to tell you that these people, it's more than just talking. Meri said she doesn't want to put a label on it, but I think at this point they were boyfriend and girlfriend, or they were in a committed relationship, but she didn't want to say anything because her body language, his body language, how comfortable they were sharing a hug tells you that there's a lot more there. Obviously, they went on the bike ride, which was amazing. Janelle, then her friends asked her that, so are you planning on rekindling with Kody? And she said no. I'm happy we were able to get clarity and able to hear her actually say the words out of her mouth. Because when she had the sit down with Kody, it was left in this gray area where a lot of viewers were questioning whether Janelle was ever going to go back to Kody. So the fact that she said no, there's no chance of her moving backwards and going and rekindling stuff with him. She's actually looking to a spiritual release. I love it. I love that her friends also shed light on the fact that he could be doing all this just because he's trying to sort of get back into good graces with his children, and he's not doing it because he's looking for an apology, which I totally agree with. I totally agree that he could be doing it so that he gets a good narrative on TV. He gets a good reception from viewers. The children, maybe this will soften their hearts because he's apologizing for what he did. Do I think the children are going to bite? No, I don't think so. I really don't. Christine and David apparently were in Vegas. I have a feeling production flew them out to Vegas. I have a feeling they didn't want Kody in their hometown, or he refused to go to Utah since he says he'll never go back to Utah. So they met in Vegas. We had Christine sort of being sort of pacified and pumped up by David. One thing David is going to do is he's going to hype his woman. He's going to be Christine's biggest, loudest cheerleader in the room, and he's going to hype her up because Christine was still very nervous. I think because of all the bad things that Kody said when he was talking about, yeah, you stabbed me in the back, and then he was saying she's criticizing me to my children and everything else he said. So I'm happy that David was there to sort of hype her up and tell her that I'm here, I'm your support system. Whatever happens, know that I'm here and I've got your back, and nothing will change about that. Kody then in his confessional was busy saying, David doesn't know me. He's been saying a lot of stuff about me, but he doesn't know me. He only has an idea of what's happened with me and my exes, but he doesn't know me. He has no right to speak about me. He had this FaceTime with Robyn. I think it was just to involve her. He said, Robyn was saying, I didn't want to go there because I still feel like his relationships with the other wives, OG ex-wives, are separate from my relationship. I do not think so, because we've already heard Janelle say she told him not to bring Robyn. So I have a feeling Christine said the same thing, that I do not want to see Robyn. I do not want to pretend to be friends with Robyn. So please do not waste your time bringing her, because if you do, then things are going to go left. Christine got herself ready. You could tell when she was on her own away from David and being filmed by production that she was very nervous. So as soon as she did her makeup and she went back to sort of be with David, you could tell that she was calmer around him. She was very nervous because she was saying, I don't trust him. I don't know what he's going to say. And so I get agitated by that, which is true. Ron being there, helping Meri's friends with the cooking and running around and doing everything, I loved, because it shows that I think Kody has always done this whereby he's very hands-on, but I love that with Ron, he was waiting to be told what to do. He wasn't like, everybody else follow me, I'm the leader, I'm the captain of the ship. So I love it. There was the incident with the eggs with Amber. I think Amber, I don't think the TV should be for her. I think she needs to be Meri's support system in the background. I think she gets too anxious and too nervous, and she might end up sort of rubbing some viewers a certain way, because you can see the way she reacted about the eggs. It wasn't such a big deal. Meri wasn't making it a big deal, but the way she kept going on about it made me look at her sideways. I don't know whether I'm the only one. You had Christine and David be walked into this room. I didn't understand why they needed that bigger ballroom. Was it sort of to create a scenario? Or was it because the other residents didn't want to be filmed, or the show was told that you needed to book a room in order to do that? For Kody to say, I asked for David to be here. David was always going to be there irregardless. He was always going to be there because he is Christine's support system. So if Kody had said he didn't want David there, then chances are Christine would have said no. There's no way production would have got her to come around. So for him to appear or pretend as though he's being, very generous and very accommodating, I do not think so. I think David came because David was always going to come to support his wife, regardless of how Kody felt about that. So you had them sit down for this chat, and Kody was saying, I want to apologize for the hard times and the good times. I want to apologize for saying, I didn't love you and how I reacted when we broke up. And it's like, seriously, Christine was on board with it because he was mentioning every single thing he was apologizing for. Do I think he was genuine? No. I think maybe Robyn sort of prepared him on what to say and what to do, or his therapist or whatever else. He said, I'm trying to help you so that you can heal. And it's like the audacity for you to think that you are responsible for this woman's healing is shocking. What makes you think without you, Christine can't heal? Christine has healed. She's moved on. She's with her husband. Yes, there are things she says. I feel like it's production who instigates that by constantly asking questions about Kody. But I do not think these people have sleepless nights whereby they're busy thinking of what to say or what to do about Kody. And I didn't like that. I thought it was very insensitive. You had David speak up, and Kody was saying, "Oh, he's a husband. I asked him to be there out of respect, but I didn't really want to hear what he had to say." And it's like, please keep quiet. If you have no respect for your wife, allow people that have respect for their wives to speak up on behalf of their wives. It's not your place to sort of say yes he should speak or no he shouldn't speak. If you didn't want him to speak, then you shouldn't have called his wife. This is now his wife, and this is what he's going to do. Christine said, you don't need to worry, it's all in the past, I've moved on. And then for Kody to say, just imagine if I hadn't screwed it up, you wouldn't have what you have now. And it's like the audacity to think that she stayed there just because of him is appalling and it's shocking. So I do not accept that, and I do not understand why he felt the need to say that. We had Jen's husband sort of come to this event because they said they encouraged him to come. You can tell he's really poorly from how we saw him at the start of the season. And he was really appreciative of Meri and her efforts to sort of gather people and arrange this event. He says he sees Meri as a sister. Meri is his wife's support system. And I'm here for it. I'm here for Meri's support system, sort of speaking up on her behalf, sort of to take away or change the narrative that's been said by everybody else. Because everybody else has villainized Meri and made her the evil person in their stories. So I love that her friends and her family or her support system is there to sort of champion the person that they know. I love that Ron was there because Meri was a different person. She was giggly, she was giddy. She was back to her sort of self where Meri comes across as a lover girl, someone who just wants someone to love her and care for her. And when she gets that, she flourishes the same way Christine is flourishing. So I love this for Meri, and I hope this relationship continues. We saw a lot of pictures of Meri and Ron. I think he's the one she went to Europe with. I might be mistaken, but it sounds like. But anyway, I love it for her, and I'm happy. So I can't wait to see the continuation of this apology tour. And I know Meri's going to hold his feet to the fire. I don't know why we needed only just a few seconds before we moved on to the next episode. It's like, please, let's just get through this apology tour so that before Christmas. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 11. Bye everyone.